All right, so while everyone is out here hooting and hollering, I just need to know where my stimulus check at.
Give me your ways. You don't know what to do with it. Give me your wig. Give me your wig.
So the latest episode of my podcast, which you can find on patreon.com/AdrianExpression, like Glade, I am not scared to plug it in. The latest episode is entitled April Babies because so many of the patrons that submit their questions and comments and stuff for me to talk about during the podcast episode, so many of them had their birthdays during April, so I thought it was just a cute little thing. I was just like, so many of y'all share my birthday month. I'm not going to stop reminding you because, like I said, it comes once a year. I get to be excited about this. But yeah, we covered a bunch of topics from religion, how to stay sane and creative during quarantine, the racism on TikTok. It's a whole bunch of stuff that we cover, so make sure you go over there and check it out. But speaking of April babies and people who have their birthdays during April, Skai Jackson turned 18, okay? April 8th, 2002 is her birthday. Now, you know that you're getting old when you seen these new kids come up and their birthdays in the 2000s and stuff. I'm just like, please, this is getting really uncomfortable for me. But I just thought you guys would want to know that the queen of clapbacks, she's really coming, okay? She is literally 100,000 times more successful than I ever was at the age of 18. I don't know. We love to see black women getting more powerful. It brings joy to our souls, especially, like I said, the queen of clapbacks, Skai Jackson. Speaking of another powerful black woman, Ari Lennox released her video to Bussit, and I thought, first of all, I mean, y'all already know I think Ari Lennox is an amazing musician and singer, but just the video, the aesthetics of this video, how beautiful the clothing was, how beautiful the women in the video were, the vibe of the whole thing. It's definitely a breath of fresh air since we can't get no fresh air. Okay, since we stuck in our houses and breathing recycled air-conditioned air, definitely, Ari Lennox, thank you so much for this breath of fresh air that you gave us. We definitely needed some type of morale boost, something, anything to get us through these next couple of weeks. It's going to be very difficult, but I see that making art and music is definitely not something that's difficult for you. We're still on the topic of black women in the music industry. We have Chloe and Halle that said that they're not only going to be starting these like Thursday night Instagram lives, but they also said that their single is coming sooner than we think. And I just want to let y'all know that I will be there. We will be streaming. We'll be doing whatever streaming, purchasing. We'll be doing whatever we need to do to support these queens. Chloe was actually crying. She was reflecting on how much work they put into this album, and of course you get that. Any artist, when you're about to release something, you're just like, oh my gosh, like, is this good enough? Did I do it right? Are they gonna understand it? Are they gonna get it? That's exactly how I feel about what I'm about to be serving you guys up, hopefully in the upcoming weeks. So I kind of relate to it, obviously not on the scale of Chloe and Halle, but we're definitely gonna be streaming and supporting, okay? So I don't know who to be upset at. I don't know if it's Carrie Hilson when she tweeted this recklessly, but I want everyone to please do your research. And no, I'm not talking about going to the shade room and liking everything that you see. I'm talking about actually looking things up. Y'all are talking about 5G is causing coronavirus and all of this, and all it takes is to use common sense. All it takes is to use common sense. And the reason why it's so annoying and the reason why it's so dangerous is because y'all would just take it. First it was black people can't get coronavirus. What happened to that? First it was black people can't get coronavirus, okay? Now it's 5G is causing coronavirus. So which one is it? What are y'all talking about? Do the research. Y'all are more worried about pushing conspiracy theories than actually looking things up, checking the legitimacy of the sources and comparing notes. It's really simple. Please stop, please, I'm begging y'all. Because just a couple weeks ago, if you looked at social media, you would have been convinced that your Negro genes, those Negro genetics, would have saved you from, engaging into battle with Miss Rona, and that's obviously not the case. Girl, do your research. It's just annoying that we have so much misinformation being spread around when so many people are dying. It's just, please, I'm so tired. I saw there was this one girl with the hairnet wasn't even on those pigtails. And she was just like, oh, well, girl, 5G. Please, I'm begging y'all. Save us, save yourselves. by just using that. I know it's hard, but use what's in here. There's a lot of us with big foreheads, mine included. It don't make no sense. I always say this. It don't make no sense for us to have these huge iPhone 11 built foreheads with no type of processing power inside of it. We got to do better. Insecure is returning this weekend. It's giving me very much. I'm gonna watch Westworld and then switch on over to Insecure. Issa did this beautiful photo shoot with Teen Vogue, and she had a few things to say about this season. With Insecure and other shows, people are looking for an escape, she says, and they get to go into this world where a pandemic doesn't exist and laugh and be immersed in somebody else's stuff. There's a huge opportunity for art to get noticed and shared in a new way. And I love that people are anticipating our return. Season 4 is coming, girlies. Now, all of our favorite characters are gonna be on the screen, and Twitter is gonna be an absolute mess. I cannot wait to live tweet with y'all about this shit. About the content of the actual season, she says, I love this season so much. This season is just about asking the question, are people in your life for a reason or a season? I think that lesson is something that we attain a deeper understanding for as we get older. Trust me, I understand. I understand the idea of people being in your life for just, you know, maybe a couple years, a season or two, and then you grow and maybe they don't, and maybe you've been noticing that for quite some time, but you eventually have to move on. It might take some time to do it because maybe that friendship or relationship, you've always known it or you've had it for such a long time, you just don't understand how your life would look without it. But there eventually comes a threshold where it's like, it's either me or this person, you know, and you make the decision. So I cannot wait to see what they have in store for us. Writing's always good, cinematography's always good, music's always good. Can't wait. And side note, I love to see that Issa has built such a huge empire for herself and maintains creative control over it. We just had to stand. Talented, intelligent Black woman. We love to see it. All right, let's just talk about it. Bernie Sanders then dropped out. Now, I'm not getting on here acting like I'm so shocked, like I didn't see this coming. I knew that it was coming. It's just sad that it happened this way when it really didn't have to. It's sad that these people who are pushing for change and all this stuff, or who claim to be pushing for change, ended up, you know, slurping the peens of the status quo and said, girl, you know, the DNC said, girl, I don't know what y'all think y'all doing about to disturb our capitalist regime and shit. That's cute what y'all thought. We're gonna push everything behind Joe Biden. That's it. Now we get to choose between the status quo and the status quo. And it's just, it's gonna be disastrous. In my opinion, I think Trump is getting another 4 years, girl. Joe Biden does not invigorate anybody to get their ass up and go vote. I'm sorry, it is what it is. We can tell people to vote. I guess the only option that we've ever had in politics is the lesser of two evils, even though in my opinion, I think that this shit is just gonna be the same. It's gonna be the same, just a slightly different leader. If Joe Biden gets elected, which like I said, I don't think that his ass stands a goddamn chance. I think that, first of all, did you see how this man performed in the debates? And it's very interesting because for Trump, he does not have to perform. He can just repeat bullshit over and over again. He can say dumb shit and it really, his base will eat up anything he says. And I think that it's so easy to piss Joe Biden off, and he's so disoriented, it's hard for him to even string together a sentence sometimes, that Trump is just gonna bulldoze his ass. And I'm not saying that Trump is logical, I'm just saying that he's gonna bulldoze him even if it's with things that don't make any sense. He's just gonna bully Joe Biden into silence. To me, it's terrible because like Bernie Sanders was just the bare minimum. And what I mean by that is a lot of people think that Bernie Sanders is just like uber super progressive. Like the things that he's talking about us getting are the most basic things that we should have had already. These policies, these proposals are things that other countries, and I've been trying to stop saying developed countries, should I say the global north? Is that the correct term? Someone please let me know. But other countries have had certain things in place, healthcare, other things. They've been in place because there's common sense, and especially they have the ability to do it. If we couldn't even do that, which I think is a bare minimum, I'm just like, girl, it's it's not looking too good. And people will talk about these policies. Well, these things take time to do, and but of course they do. But it's just like we see how quickly everything was unraveled when this coronavirus crisis hit everybody. All of a sudden, the things that were impossible, y'all said were impossible to do, it happened in a matter of fucking days, you know? So of course the logistics of these things are more difficult and more complicated than I'm making it seem in a 10-15 minute YouTube video. But it's saying that it's impossible is obviously false. So like I said, I just think that Bernie Sanders and people who, you know, thought in that realm of progressiveness, I guess, it was a still very basic level of forward movement. And it was so basic because it was just common sense things that we should have already had. So if we can't do that shit now, I don't know what it's gonna take. Let's talk about some more disappointing news really quickly. ABC is saying that the government knew about all this stuff about the threat of Miss Rona as early as November. Okay, this is coming from ABC. ABC says, as far back as late November, US intelligence officials were warning that a contagion was sweeping through China's Wuhan region, changing the patterns of life and business and posing a threat to the population, according to 4 sources briefed on the secret reporting. Also from ABC, analysts concluded that it could be a cataclysmic event. It was then briefed multiple times to the Defense Intelligence Agency, the Pentagon's Joint Staff, and also the White House. So we're getting more and more reports of the fact that our government knew that this was going on way back months before and just decided to sit on their hands and act like, oh, well, girl, nothing to see here. This is fine. And even after this, you know, there will still be a strong support for this administration. It will still receive support. It's literally the definition, the manifestation, the incarnation of self-destruction. And you know, it just sucks that I'm not watching it from the outside. I'm literally inside of this. Didn't ask for it, but I'm here watching just shit go to hell. I hate it. I hate it. Since we're still on the topic of this crisis, Gaga was on Jimmy Fallon. I'm gonna show you the difference between Gaga's rhetoric and Ellen's. Gaga was on Jimmy Fallon talking about how celebrities talk about how we're all in this together. And she said she kind of has a problem with that. And this is what she said. She said, while I think the sentiment is nice, I also think that the fight that I'm in or that you're in, right? And she's referring to Jimmy Fallon, is very different than the fight of a woman that is in perhaps an abusive relationship and has a child and lost her job and can't feed her kid and can't feed herself and also can't get the help that she needs because she's in a violent situation. So I'm glad that we have certain people like Gaga and others who are actually doing shit to raise money and talking about like, okay, it's cute that y'all think, oh, we're all in this together, y'all singing into y'all phones and stuff, oh, imagine and shit. But let's look at the real impacts and implications of what is going on. Love it. But then you compare that to what people like Ellen are saying, right? She was doing her show from her house, and I think one of the things she says was, and of course, you know, she's joking around, but one of the things she said was, being in quarantine is like being in jail. She said it's mostly because I've been wearing the same clothes for 10 days and everyone here is gay. And she thinks we're gonna be like, oh, so funny. And it really does show how disconnected from regular life, I guess you could say, certain celebrities are. But you know, at some point it's just like you're choosing to be. And like, read the room, girl. What are you doing? What are you talking about? You talking about, oh, it's like being in jail. And if we want to combine this crisis with jail, the concept of prison and all that, let's talk about Aaron Campbell, okay? He's an inmate at FCI Elton, which is a federal prison. He said, this is what he said. He said that a prison nurse recently told him, verbatim, half the unit is about to die. According to this article from Vice, it said that 3 people from that prison, at the time that I read it, I'm sure there's probably more, 3 people have died and 20 more are hospitalized. Aaron said that he's talking about people being affected by this virus, that people that he knew personally. He had smuggled a phone in, and I think he was on like Facebook Live explaining the whole situation. He turned the camera around and said that they got, you know, other inmates in there in his same room affected by the coronavirus, dying of it, and all he has is a mask and some tired ass hand sanitizer like this. He was saying that all y'all out there speaking to people who are not incarcerated, y'all can practice social distancing, but we cannot do that, and they're just leaving us in here to die. That's what he said. Vice said that the Bureau of Prisons spokesperson Sue Allison told Vice News the video, speaking about the live video that Aaron recorded, is currently under investigation. Wow, okay. Not the situation, but the video is. And she also denied that Campbell or other men, Aaron Campbell or other men shown in the video are sick. But then Joseph Mayo, a correction counselor at Elton, and the president of the Union for the Prison's Staff and Guards would not confirm or deny that footage was shot inside the prison, but he rebutted specific claims made by Aaron Campbell. So, you know, of course, they're trying to cover their own ass while all of this goes down. I remember saying that we have to be careful and really pay attention to the fact that the most vulnerable people in our societies, minorities, communities that have already been ignored when it comes to resources, and communities experiencing things like medical racism. I mean, immigrants in detention centers, people in jails and prisons, they're going to be the ones really horribly affected by this, especially because society already likes to throw them away. So while Ellen is over here joking, oh yeah, I feel like I'm in jail, blah, 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 it's just, please, I encourage everybody to just shut the fuck up and open your purse. On that note, my babies, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, make sure that you go over to patreon.com/AdrianExpression if you want more content and early content and my podcast, all of that. Please stay safe as usual. Stay your ass inside if you can. I know like a lot of us are going crazy. Love you so much, and make sure that you have a good goddamn evening.